The boxing world has been rocked by reports that Oleksandr Usyk could be pulling out of the anticipated clash with Rico Verhoeven after reportedly suffering an injury in camp. Fans were expecting a historic crossover showdown, but now serious doubts are starting to surround the entire event. If confirmed, it would be a major setback not just for both fighters, but for the wider boxing audience that had been building excitement around this unique matchup between two dominant champions from different combat sports.
Дорогие друзья, здравствуйте. Хочу вам сказать, что в своем тренировке...
Meanwhile, Oleksandr Usyk has now responded directly to the growing injury rumors, admitting that issues in camp have affected the planned fight with Rico Verhoeven. Despite the setback, Usyk remained confident in his tone and thanked fans for their patience as uncertainty continues to build around the highly anticipated crossover clash.
Так спорт, так бывает. Друзья, фанатам спасибо за поддержку. Чуть подождите. Мир любит сильных.
Frank Warren then opened up on the financial impact caused by Oleksandr Usyk's injury situation, making it clear that the camp had invested heavily into the planned fight with Rico Verhoeven, with training expenses and preparations already in motion. The sudden setback has left everyone involved frustrated and disappointed, highlighting just how costly disruptions like this can be at the elite level of the sport.
He's a big fight, he's trained very hard. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. You imagine the cost involved in a training camp, booking places to set the camp up, bringing the sparring partners in, the nutritionists, the chefs, trainers and everybody, and you don't get paid. It's a massive loss, you can't insure it. Or if you do, it costs a fortune to insure. But very, very disappointing.
Liam Goff also reacted to the growing rumors, suggesting that Oleksandr Usyk may have picked up an ankle injury during camp ahead of the planned fight with Rico Verhoeven. Right now, details remain unclear, but the fact that multiple voices are questioning Usyk's condition has only increased concern among fans, adding more uncertainty around whether the crossover bout will go ahead as planned.
Suffered some sort of ankle injury. Maybe I was just, seeing things with that one. But he is injured. It's not really specifying. I don't know why. I'm sure I saw it was ankle, but maybe not. Maybe I was just saying.
Eddie Hearn then highlighted how intense modern fight camps have become, with fighters constantly pushing themselves through brutal sparring sessions and physically demanding preparation. That context has led many fans to believe Oleksandr Usyk may have genuinely picked up the injury while preparing for the dangerous challenge of Rico Verhoeven, adding further weight to the concerns surrounding the fight.
Was sparring. Now it's the first time where we consistently had 7 or 8 guys in camp, living in camp, training with him day in, day out. And it made a big difference in the fight. So I think he knows that the way that he's going to improve is time in the gym and also the quality of...
Johnny Nelson did not hold back at all and appeared furious over the chaos surrounding camp activities before the planned fight with Rico Verhoeven. With Oleksandr Usyk now linked to injury concerns, Nelson's reaction reflects growing frustration around how the camp was managed. Many fans are starting to question whether preparations became too reckless ahead of such a massive event, especially given the stakes and the level of opponent involved.
The sauce is good. The sauce is good. And so when I'm hearing these things, I'm like, nah. And so it's popping out left, right, and centre. The sauce is good. And so to me, I just shook my head. And when I'd heard all...
Frank Warren admitted the news arrived very late and immediately triggered panic behind the scenes. From broadcasters to fans, everyone was left stunned as uncertainty continued to grow around Oleksandr Usyk and whether the planned showdown with Rico Verhoeven could still realistically go ahead.
People direct and then make a decision if he's out.
Okay, when did you first learn about this, Frank?
Very late this afternoon.
Okay, so it's been a stressful day.
To say the least. For the fighters as well. It's a shame for the fighters, for everybody involved. TV companies and more importantly for the fans. Riyadh season, His Excellency, everybody involved with this. We're all gutted, but what can you do?
Wade Clemens raised serious concerns after closely observing Oleksandr Usyk, suggesting the injury situation may be worse than initially expected. His comments have intensified worries among fans, with some now questioning whether this setback could have longer-term effects beyond just the planned fight with Rico Verhoeven, potentially impacting Usyk's future at the elite level.
We shouldn't be doing that, right? There he goes again. Now again, I'm no doctor. I don't know, but it does seem like that's a bit of an issue.
Eddie Hearn kept his reaction brief, but the tension in his words spoke volumes about the situation surrounding Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven. Right now, nobody in boxing seems fully certain about what happens next. The injury rumors are growing stronger, and many insiders believe the situation behind closed doors could be more serious than initially thought. What makes this even bigger is the scale of the event itself. This crossover fight had already generated massive global attention, and now the entire boxing world is waiting for one final decision from Usyk's team on whether the fight can still go ahead.
Dubois, we'll see what happens, but that's for them to overcome now, and it's a very difficult situation.
Frank Warren once again stressed how painful this situation has become for everyone involved in the camp of Oleksandr Usyk ahead of the planned fight with Rico Verhoeven. He made it clear that huge financial and logistical investments had already gone into preparation, and now everything is hanging in the balance because of the reported injury. Fans often only see fight night, but behind the scenes these camps demand enormous resources, from sparring partners to elite nutrition and conditioning teams. That is why the potential withdrawal has sent shockwaves through the boxing industry, as so much time, money, and effort has already been committed to what was expected to be a major global event.
You know, he's a big fight, he's trained very hard. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. You imagine the cost involved in a training camp, you know, booking places to set the camp up, bringing the sparring partners in, the nutritionists, the chefs, trainers and everybody, and you don't get paid. It's a massive loss. You can't insure it, or if you do, you know, it costs a fortune to insure. But very, very disappointing.
Wade Clemens breaks down exactly why Oleksandr Usyk would have been such a nightmare matchup for Rico Verhoeven inside a boxing ring. According to him, Usyk's movement, timing, and ring IQ are on another level compared to most heavyweights in combat sports. Even Verhoeven's supporters recognize how difficult the challenge would have been, given Usyk's ability to punish small mistakes with elite footwork and accuracy. That is why fans were so excited for the clash in the first place. It was seen as a true style test between Verhoeven's toughness and pressure against one of the smartest boxers in the world.
Aim with his lead hand, keep the distance, which he does such a good job of. If you move forward, he moves back. You cut an angle, he cuts an angle, right? He just mirrors what you do. And the moment you make a mistake or overcommit, he touches you with the lead hand. That's first.
Frank Warren also revealed that doctors immediately stepped in after injury concerns around Oleksandr Usyk began to escalate during preparations for the fight with Rico Verhoeven. According to Warren, even medication had to go through strict checks before anything could be approved, showing just how closely the situation has been monitored behind the scenes. That level of caution has raised further questions among fans, as a minor issue would typically not require such intensive oversight. Right now, uncertainty around Usyk's physical condition continues to grow, making the planned crossover bout appear increasingly unstable with each passing day.
To examine him, give him some medication, but the medication he gave him, it obviously had to be checked that it didn't.
Adam Smith believes the drama surrounding Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven has only made the event even bigger despite all the controversy. He notes that boxing fans around the world are now completely locked into the story because nobody knows whether the fight will collapse or still move forward. The injury rumors, heated reactions, and uncertainty behind the scenes have created massive attention online. At this stage, every new update involving Usyk instantly goes viral, as fans continue to wait for clarity on the future of the crossover showdown.
Twice as big for the casual fans. Do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens.
Tony Bellew gave huge respect to Rico Verhoeven's dangerous kickboxing ability, but still made it clear that boxing is the world of Oleksandr Usyk. According to Bellew, the early rounds could have been awkward due to Verhoeven's size, movement, and pressure. However, once Usyk settled into his rhythm, he would likely have started taking control of the fight. At the same time, Bellew admits that if Verhoeven somehow managed to defeat Usyk inside a boxing ring, it would rank as one of the biggest shocks in combat sports history. That sense of unpredictability is exactly why fans were so fascinated by the matchup before injury concerns disrupted the build-up.
If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work.
I mean, someone saying it could change boxing forever if he wins, Rico. How does Rico go about trying to solve that puzzle of Usyk?
Be the greatest shock boxing's ever seen. If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history.
Wade Clemens made it clear that he was never fully convinced by the matchup between Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven in the first place. While he respects Verhoeven as an all-time great kickboxer, he argues that heavyweight boxing is a completely different world, especially against someone as technical and disciplined as Usyk. He also compares the situation to Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury, but stresses that Usyk is a far more focused and dangerous operator inside the ring. Still, despite the criticism, fans remain fascinated by the fight because Verhoeven's power and unpredictability always created that what-if scenario.
This is not a fight I am a massive fan of, and now that I'm free, now that I can kind of, be more open about my opinions on this fight, I fucking hate this fight. I can't stand it. I understand the circus nature of it in terms of like big name kickboxer, one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, coming in to fight an all-time great in the boxing space in his sport. We saw it with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. The only difference there was, I think, more fans of Francis Ngannou, more of a what-if factor because of his punching power and because Fury was 550 pounds in that fight. Accurate, not even exaggerating. We got a masterpiece in terms of what Francis did to the current heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is a little different because Oleksandr Usyk is a massively different operator than Tyson Fury. He is a far better technical boxer than anyone at heavyweight, and he isn't really susceptible to one-punch KO power the same way Fury is when he comes in out of shape and blubbery. Now, is there the off chance that Rico catches Oleksandr Usyk? Yeah, sure. I understand. It's a fight. Anything can happen. But why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big part. That
Max Kellerman and the panel sounded extremely confident that Oleksandr Usyk would still dominate Rico Verhoeven despite all the hype surrounding the crossover clash. According to them, Usyk is showing no signs of slowing down even at 39 years old, and physically appears stronger than ever. They also praised his discipline, preparation, and mentality, traits many believe separate him from every other heavyweight in boxing today. That is why the injury rumors shocked so many people, as fans genuinely expected to see Usyk at his absolute peak against one of combat sport's biggest crossover names.